Welcome back to the O Hockey Show, and today, since I've been talking about the Eastern Wildcard crazy madness hunt that's going on over there on the East Coast, with 6 teams all jockeying to make it in, just fighting for their lives to make it into the playoffs, some of them trying to end drought, some of them to look like fools, and some of them just trying to make up for a bad, cursed year for them. On the West Coast, it's not such a tight race over here, but it is still pretty close. It is a tight race, but it's not as compact as 6 teams all trying to make it in. Over here, it's pretty calm. So, currently at the top of the standings, we got the Seattle Kraken in the first wild card spot, and they're going to make it in the playoffs. I have no doubt about it. They have 8 games left remaining. The other teams below them, except one, have one less than them. They're doing okay in their last 10. They're 4-4-2 with 90 points, so they're looking pretty nice. They're 5 points above the second wild spot, and below them 7 points and 8 points above the other ones that are trying to get in. I think they're most likely going to make it, and their path to victory, the last stretch they've got these 8 games against LA, so a team that they could actually end up playing in the first round. So that's a big game I think is happening tonight or tomorrow. So that'll be an important game for them to win, just to go in with that momentum. They looked great against the Anaheim Ducks last night. They looked phenomenal last night. And I hope they keep up that momentum against the Kings, even though, not that I don't like the Kings, but I would like to see the Kraken finish the season strong. The Arizona Coyotes, they play them 3 times in their last 8. So that's 3 games that they will be playing them at Mullet Arena, which they have the Coyotes have one of the best home records in the league. Not the best by any means, but they're up there. They have a roughly similar record. I think only a difference of like 1 overtime loss to the Edmonton Oilers, the team right above the Seattle Kraken, who they could maybe snipe out of their position, but I think they're like 5 points above them now. So I don't really know if they're in reach, but it's regardless of anything, the Kraken are making it in, if they even slide in that third spot. But regardless, which then they can maybe face the Kings, or maybe the Kings. There's a lot that could happen. I'll talk about that in another video. But the Kraken are sitting high and mighty, and they play Vegas 2 times to end their season as well. So Seattle, an interesting route. 3 pretty easy matchups for them. Vancouver as well, and Chicago. So really 5 matchups that they should win against out there, especially 4 of them, Chicago and Arizona, and then Vegas 2 times to finish it off, who could be the team they end up playing either in the second to third place, maybe wild card to first spot. It's kind of, well, actually, they won't be playing them, because if they're cracking up in the first wild card spot, I'm going to say they're most likely going to play the Central Division team, so who knows? A lot could happen here, but Seattle's kind of got an easy road kind of to the finish line. Out of their last 8, only 3 matchups are kind of pretty tough, and then the other ones, they should be surefire wins. So Seattle looks good. The Winnipeg Jets, 85 points, 5 points behind first place, 2 points only above the teams below, well, the one team below them, and 3 points above the team below that. So they're 5-5-0 in their last 10, so they're not looking too bad. However, they only have 7 games remaining to make up some points to keep that edge above them. And they've been in a playoff spot for most of the season now. They were in the top 3 for a while, but they've been pushed out because the Avalanche and the Wild have just been zooming since like halfway point of the year, since quite a while. And the Jets seem to be kind of dropping off a lot towards here at the end. Detroit is who they have to face up next. I think that is also tonight. That's an interesting matchup. The Detroit, not really a tough team, but there are a lot of young players that are trying to finish out their year strong. Winnipeg trying to survive as well, so not an easy matchup. The Devils, a playoff team. Calgary, the team below them, trying for their lives. So that is going to be a fun matchup to see, because they're both trying to beat each other out, literally. They're their toughest competition here. And then Nashville, another team. So 2 games in a row. So 3 in a row of one playoff team and the 2 teams below them that are fighting to make it into the playoffs. Then San Jose, an easy matchup, and then Minnesota and Colorado. So I would definitely say Seattle's got an easier route towards the end here, and the Winnipeg Jets have a tough battle ahead of them. They got a lot of tough teams in front of them left in their 7 games. So, like, Seattle, I'd say they have like 5 pretty decent matchups that they could win. The Winnipeg Jets, though, they've got like only 2 matchups where I'm like, they should be able to win those, but the rest of them are like, boy, that's going to be a tough battle. And that's really, once again, it's the pressure test. If you're worthy of the playoffs, they will make it in at that point. But the team below them, the Calgary Flames, I'd say have an easier route with them going to the playoffs as well. 83 points, 2 points below them. They've been on a roll with 5 wins, 3 losses, and 2 overtime losses. So they've made up a majority of the points that they can get over the last 10 games. So they're looking strong as of late. And their final stretch with 7 games left is a lot easier than the Winnipeg Jets as well. Vancouver, Anaheim, Chicago, 3 games right there that they should be easy wins. Winnipeg, of course, that matchup is already talked about. Going to be interesting there, but at that point, I wouldn't be surprised if Calgary's gotten in that first spot, because in that time, Winnipeg, they could lose through two of those games, then run into Calgary, and Calgary could maybe win those 2 matchups against Vancouver and Anaheim, slide in above, maybe let's say by maybe 1 point, and then that matchup is going to put one of them really in a solid lead above the other one. Vancouver again, so then they got an easy matchup, or what should be an easy matchup for them, and then the Nashville Predators, so maybe that'll be even the position then. Maybe Winnipeg gets knocked down here, Nashville goes up to the top, and it's the race between those two. So at that point, that could be an even more important matchup. And then they finish off the year against San Jose, so what should be a pretty easy matchup for them, which I wouldn't be surprised, because I think San Jose, I've been following them for a while now. I think that they are, I always forget, I think they're really bad at finishing the year, so Calgary might have a pretty easy matchup against the Sharks to end the season. But then the Nashville Predators, 3 points out of a playoff spot. They're right there. 4-5-1 in their last 10, so they're almost 500. They're not looking too good. They just lost to Pittsburgh last night, which would have helped them, because if they won that matchup, they'd be right at 84, 1 point behind Winnipeg. So they just lost last night against the Penguins 2-0. Didn't even put up a try, really. So there are 8 games remaining, so that's the one thing they have, is that they have a game in hand against Winnipeg and Calgary. So they got St. Louis, a team that it's not going to be a steamroll, because they're the team that would be written on the board right below them, but they're in the 70s of points. There's no way they're going to catch up. There's just no way. And especially selling out their team now. Sammy Blaze been a rock star since getting to St. Louis, so who knows? But I didn't put them on the board. There's no way. I just don't see a feasible way. I could have written them on here, but I just don't think there's a real talking point to make about St. Louis. So St. Louis is going to be a hard matchup, because they're right below them in the standings. But if Nashville wants to make it into the playoffs, that's the type of team that they need to be able to squash to move on. And then they've got Dallas and Vegas. So 2 teams that they could, if they get into that final wild card spot, could be the team that they face in the first round. So those are 2 hard matchups. Then Carolina is not going to be an easy one. They're really jockeying for position in that top 3, trying not to play the Devils or the Rangers, and trying to get in the best spot possible and get the first place so they can play a team like the Islanders instead of playing the Rangers or the Devils. And then they've got Winnipeg. So as I've discussed already, Winnipeg, that's at that point, that could be the race between them. Maybe Nashville's jumped up here, maybe they're in the first place spot and Winnipeg's 1 point behind them. So in like a week or so time, that matchup could be even way more important. Calgary then up next, once again discussed. Maybe that'll be the matchup. Maybe Nashville's gotten in the first place spot. They're 1 point ahead of Calgary at that point. Who knows? Minnesota and then Colorado, just like the Winnipeg Jets finishing out their season. That is going to be a tough one, because that's a tough way to end out the season. But if the Predators are good enough to make it into the playoffs, those are the type of teams that they need to prove they can beat to make it in, because those are who they're going to play in the playoffs. So right now, my pick to make it into the playoffs, Seattle definitely. There's no way they're losing that. So the second one, I mean, it's still up in the air who they're going to play too. But between Calgary, Nashville, and Winnipeg, Calgary's looked pretty good as of late, and I just don't think Winnipeg's going to screw it at the end. I think they are going to finish out strong, but Calgary's got a way easier road ahead of them, and I think it's going to come down between them. And you know what? I think because there always needs to be a story, and this is going to be the best playoffs ever, that the matchup between them in, I think it'll be in a week. I think it's on a Thursday this upcoming week, the second last week of the season. I think it's going to come down to that one, and the winner of that will move on, and I think it will be Winnipeg. I just think Winnipeg's got what it takes to make it into the playoffs, and they have the lead already. They already have the edge, And I don't think they're going to have the manpower to do with all those injuries. And I think Calgary's just going to squander it, and they're going to look like idiots with the tradings and all their stuff, the antics that they had to go through this offseason. I know it wasn't by choice, but it's going to look bad on them. They're going to not make the playoffs. So that's my pick. I think the two in there have already solidified their spot and are going to make it. So that is my pick, and that is all I have to say. So if you've made it all the way to this point, feel free to reward yourself and me by picking up your free subscription down below. Thank you for watching this. Too sweet. I've been your better-than-you dress host, Owen, and ta-ta for now.